LIEnette's in the deposition of her life trying to save her property, that beautiful property, and yet she's lying. She's lying from the very beginning. She even states when she's asked what her name is that she has never ever gone by Ruby. That's odd because I have text messages that she has sent stating that it's Ruby. It gets even crazier when Randy asked LIEnette under oath in a court session, how many pieces of property, how much land, how many homes have you ever owned, under what names, what was your legal name, what's on your birth certificate? And 45 minutes later, after a 45-minute delay, she claims she lives in a property, in a house now in Otter Creek. Which Randy asked the appropriate question, what house? Not only does Randy want to know what home she currently lives in, I think the rest of the planet would like to know as well. What home? So her initial idea was to buy the property in Otter Creek, telling everybody, don't worry, there's a plan. There's a plan. The plan was to try and manipulate Jeremy, George, gain money, funding for the turtles to create a turtle sanctuary, which is more of a purgatory, a rescue to where the animals actually need rescued. There's no home. She bought sheds. The initial plan was to live in a tent. She's publicly posted, well, that plan's not gonna work with a medically fragile child. Obviously, the child must not be too medically fragile. If LIEnette's whole plan was to live in a tent on purgatory property, which then turned into sheds, which then turned into a camper, which then she defaulted on her loan on the camper, and then that was taken away. Then she tried to get Jamie's camper. That camper was stolen. That camper was taken away. Then she tried to get Lloyd's camper. Trespass 5 went in, which they did not trespass, but they all were given trespass letters afterwards and saved an elderly victim from LIEnette and CROOK. Tried to get that camper, now has another camper with both her name and CROOK's name. Does not have an occupancy permit for any type of home, any type of structure whatsoever. She is claiming homestead illegally in the state of Florida, and we'll get to that as well. She'll be held accountable for that. She's living illegally in a camper. CROOK is living illegally in a shed, and a lot of times in a tent. Oh, that's when LIEnette was in the shed. CROOK had to get booted out to the tent. Yeah, okay. There's no home. There's no home whatsoever. And as I dig into this with you, I want you to understand, as Randy is asking questions, this is all about homestead. In other words, a tax break in federal bankruptcy court. If she actually had a homestead, then it could be protected in her bankruptcy. She could actually keep her home. But here's a massive problem. Number one, she lives in the incorporated Otter Creek, and she fought to keep it incorporated. When I continued to tell the world, just unincorporate Otter Creek. Otter Creek can't fund itself. It can't take care of itself. It doesn't have the people or the resources. Let the county take care of it. If Otter Creek would have been unincorporated, she would have been able to claim much greater homestead. But since Otter Creek is incorporated, she can only protect half an acre in a homestead. Last ditch, Hail Mary. Except you have to have a home. And she does not have a livable, legal home at all. Never has and never will on that property. As the property has been offered to me multiple times at full 1.66 acres with them all being booted. She will never have a livable, never have a legal home on that property. They are going to be moving off the property. Whether a sheriff does it, whether the marshals do it, they will be removed from that property. So as we get into the next set of questioning on the home and what this all looks like, as we've already had questions about names, and we've had questions on, is there anything that would affect your recollection, your ability to remember? And remember, you may have already seen the previous 2 videos in this series. There are new people all the time that have never seen anything, which is why we go back through a summary, because you are not the only viewer, even though you are viewing right now. There are tens of thousands of viewers. There is going to be arguments. There are going to be interruptions, and I can't reenact the interruptions. I will try and point them out to you. But we get into massive interruptions to where even saran wrap, LIEnette's own legal counsel, that Deuce, FLEASE, frauded, not my word, FLEASE's word, frauded people out of over $6,000. Yes, I know the term is defrauded. We're using FLEASE vocabulary today. The toothless, fatty FLEASE. File it, fatty. So Randy is asking the questions and has to re-emphasize to LIEnette he's asking the questions. He asked, what home? Where have you owned property? What home? And LIEnette says, I'm in a house now. And Randy goes, what does that mean? She says, the property I have now. Randy goes, there's no house on that property. There's a shell thing, a barn shell. There's a concrete pad, and there's a metal barn shell on that property. There are no permits. There's no occupancy permit whatsoever. They're illegally living on the property right now. You're only allowed to live in a camper for so many months, so many weeks while you're building. They are not building. She says, yes, there is. I own that property, and I believe I own a house in Liberty Center, Iowa. She brings up Liberty Center, Iowa now. She owned a house in Liberty Center, Iowa. And he goes, okay. Did you have a contract? Did you ever own any property in North Florida? Oh, North Florida. She remembers Florida. No, Northport, Florida. Not North Florida, Northport, Florida. She finally remembers. Randy has to literally tell her that she owned property in Northport, Florida. She says, well, yes. But I'm not here to answer those questions. Yeah, she is. This is about homesteading. This is about whether she legally can homestead the property or if it's illegally homesteaded. And the federal bankruptcy court trustee already agrees with us, as is her legal representation. There is no legal homestead on this property at all. None of it. Not even the half acre in the incorporated Otter Creek. Which again, I can't stress this enough. The smartest thing Otter Creek could ever do is unincorporate. Would have benefited LIEnette. She's too dumb. All right, so we go on in the questioning. And he says, listen, I'm asking you. You don't come back and ask me, a house in Northport? After Randy goes, what about Northport? I'm asking you the questions, Randy reemphasizes. I'm taking a timeline. I'm trying to get you to answer questions in a timeline. She goes, you're saying, did I ever own property under the name Lacey Alexis? Yes, I did. Remember, we have the whole name now. If you didn't get through the whole 45 minutes of a deposition about a name, that was the previous episode. You can go back. They're all in alignment based on dates. She's now admitting that she actually owned property under another name, Lacey Alexis. Isn't that interesting? Remember, Lacey with an E. It's prettier. Okay, so Randy then says, you misunderstood me. I'm not even going to have the court reporter read it back at this point. And she says, "You're confusing me. Yes, I owned one in Northport, and then this one." Randy steps it back. He goes, "Listen carefully. Again, I'm going to repeat almost word for word what we're going over." Now, you have to understand, while Randy is saying this, he's being interrupted constantly with nasty, just vile comments from LIEnette. All right. He says, "How many properties have you owned in your life? You said," then she interrupts him. Complete and total stupidity, right? He goes, "I'm not done. You said Iowa. You mentioned one in Iowa. Now you mentioned a second one that was under contract for a deed. And you've mentioned, and I had to remind you of a Northport, Florida one. And now you're mentioning this vacant land in Otter Creek." She goes, "It's a rebuild. It's not a new build. It's a rebuild." It's vacant land with an illegal homestead exemption on it. And there's no building going on. To rebuild something, you would be rebuilding the exact same thing. That's not what happened at all. She took down condemned structures and is attempting, or was attempting, to put up a new structure, a shell, a barn shell. He goes, "Thank you. Now, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just making a question here. So of all the properties that I just mentioned, have you ever owned any other properties? Have you ever used any other names other than the ones that you have said?" Remember, the legal name means a lot in legal court cases, lawsuits, such as a federal bankruptcy court. She's interrupting him the entire time, going off about, I mean, I can't even keep notes on it. It's just, I got broken statements here, there, and everywhere. So I have everything from, "Have you ever gone by blah, blah, blah." I got blah, 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 Michelle L.A. Preston. It's really, there's all kinds of gibberish here. You can't even make sense of it because she won't stop. She will not stop. And you're going to see Saran Wrap's going to make her stop here on the record. He goes, "Have you any property under the name Michelle LIEnette or Michelle Alexa or LIEnette Michelle Lacey Alexis?" She goes, "I sign my name, LIEnette MLA." Okay. She goes, "That's how I sign my name." How you sign your name has nothing to do with legal document, right? Okay, let me show you. Let me give you an example here really quick. I'm getting another pad of paper. I didn't take any notes on this one, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sign my name. This is my name. This is how I sign my name. Right there. Does this have anything to do with any legal document whatsoever? No, absolutely not. There's nothing legal about this. This is trash. Garbage. Just like her life. Just like her deposition answers. Trash. Garbage. He says, "I didn't say anything about signing your name. So let's try this again, Randy." "I didn't." And she starts interrupting again. He goes, "I didn't ask you that." I don't even know what the interruption is. I just have INT interruption. He goes, "This is the problem we're having. Legally, when you do a document," this is Randy, "I'm not asking how you signed your name. If I were to do what's called a title search, that's the reason I'm asking these questions, okay? So let me ask you again, under your legal name, when you title something," you and I get this, right? What's the legal name on Hales Headquarters? Well, it's not, used to be Jeremy Hales. Now it's in my trust for my kids. do you sign or have you ever gone by Michelle, L.A., an initial, L.A. Preston? Yes, no. Randy reads off all these different initials. Now, you understand, he's going through a list that he already has. He already has all these documents and all the different ways that her name is on these documents, which are all different. She finally goes, yeah! Because have you ever gone by any other legal names under real estate documents? And then she interrupts yet again. And he goes, do you see how you just interrupted me there? Do you see that? And she goes, you just asked me a question. Saran Wrap now butts in. Saran Wrap says, okay, Michelle. You would think he would actually be calling her LIEnette, since that's her legal name, and it's already been established that's her legal name in this deposition. Saran Wrap goes, Michelle, that's enough. Whoa. Whoa. Saran Wrap on the record rebukes LIEnette. Michelle, that's enough. Let's bring it back. And then he apologizes, not to LIEnette. He apologizes to Randy. I'm sorry I had to do that on the record. Randy says, not a problem. Randy appreciates it. And from what I recall, I think Randy put it on the record saying, I really appreciate that. You're trying to get her to do the right thing. And he goes on to say to LIEnette, you did interrupt me. You didn't know what my question was even going to be. You assumed what the question was going to be. So now let's take half a breath before answering any questions. He's already said this so many times already. It's getting ridiculous. He says, if I do what's called a title search, I have to put in a name. And if you're using initials, that's not going to show up. It will show up under a different title search. Wouldn't you agree? So that's the premises of my question here. Have you ever legally had any documents in any other names where instead of spelling the names Alexis, Lacey, Michelle, LIEnette, Ruby, does it actually use initials? This is a yes or no question. Now you have to understand at this point, she can't just answer yes or no. She just a word vomit. How everything is Jeremy's fault and everything is Randy's fault and everything is everybody else's fault except for hers. Her legal name is LIEnette Michelle Barber at birth. Then she went back to Preston. She says, yes. He goes, okay. Oh my goodness. We're finally getting somewhere. Thank you. Randy wants to know what are the documents that we're talking about that have your legal name on them. So he asks, what are the documents? What are we talking about? What real estate records are you using your initials? She goes, probably Northport, probably here. Well, here she's in the courthouse in Bronson, Florida. She's not even in Otter Creek, so I don't know why she's saying here. Otter Creek is what she's referring to as well. So Randy then asks, did you have to show your driver's license when you sign these documents? You know, that's typically a thing you have to do. You have to show a legal document proving who you are so that people can notarize things such as deeds, right? You understand that, I'm sure. She goes, that is my signature. And that's how I sign my documents. And that's exactly how she was sounding during the actual deposition. Randy goes, I'm sorry. By the way, there's no need to be yelling. I'm communicating right now. And I'm not asking you how you sign your name. Nobody cares how anybody signs their name. He is asking specific questions about specific legal documents, and she is just too dumb to grasp, to understand the most simple, basic questions posed to her. He goes on to say, I'm not asking you how you sign your name. I'm going to ask, what I'm saying is when you have a legal document and they had your initials, you just said you use your initials in legal documents in Florida. You did say that, right? Are you texting somebody, ma'am? At this point, I could not believe it. I'm sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, is she literally getting her phone out and is she starting to text or call or record or message? I'm on the other side on Zoom taking notes, how do you say that word? Fervorously. You know, I'm just taking notes like crazy. Words are hard sometimes, especially if you're LIEnette, Michelle, Lacey, Alexis, Ruby, LIEnette Preston, Barber, DEUCE, and a whole lot of Wilson, a lot of other names. I can't even fathom. I can't fathom. Are you texting, ma'am? And I'm going, I cannot believe it. She goes, no! I'm looking at my license to see if it says MLA, which would be Michelle, Lacey, Alexis. Where's the Ruby? I guess she never legally put that one in there, which I'm not convinced any of this is legal in the first place. We certainly don't have any legal documents proving that her legal name is LIEnette, Michelle, Lacey, Alexis, Ruby, Preston, LMNOP, QRSG, XYZ. And so he goes, okay. So if I do a search under those names, you know, a title search, a deed search, because if I do a search under those names, you identified that you had property in Northport and you used your initials. She goes, I'm not sure, sir, whether I had initials or not. Okay, Randy wants to know. Have you ever used initials in any of your real estate documents in your life? She goes on to say, I don't, that's, don't, He goes, that's your answer? She goes, it's just interruption. It's insane mumbling, jumbling noises. I can't fathom, if I would have been there, how much more unhinged it really would have been. Probably would have been fun. Again, I didn't need to waste time. I didn't need to waste money, but probably would have been fun. And Randy goes, okay, so that's your answer. You don't know. You don't know that you've ever signed any legal real estate documents with letters. M, L, A, B, C, Q, R, S, T, U, G. Randy goes, hey, everybody is on the Zoom meeting right now, which is Saran Wrap, her lawyer, who's already rebuked her on the record and off the record. You've got the trustee's lawyer. You've got me, and you have, well, that's who you have on Zoom, okay? And he goes, I'm going to send you some documents. This is going to be exhibit number 1. Exhibit number 1 is a warranty deed for the Otter Creek property, this is pretty important because this is the piece of property she's claiming she has a legal homestead on. And the federal bankruptcy court trustee is saying, no, she doesn't. There is no legal homestead on this property, and they are going to seize all 1.66 acres. This is not a maybe. This is an absolute. Okay. So, he goes on to say this is a warranty deed for the Otter Creek property. It says, Mr. Preston, I'm going to show them to you on a screen so you can see this. Now, remember, Randy's never going to ask a question he doesn't already know the answer to. And LIEnette's already been caught in lie after lie after lie after lie. Again, mother appropriately named her the right name. He says, you're reading this, right? And she says, yep. Oh, finally, we just can't get a yes. We did get a yep. And he says, she goes, I'm just looking. I want to make sure what name is on it. That my name is actually on it. Hold a second. LIEnette doesn't know if her name's on her actual warranty deed for the Otter Creek Purgatory. don't know how you make those mistakes. Randy goes, what do you see? And what are those dots? Can you identify those dots on this this warranty deed? And she goes, it says warranty deed. Okay. And Randy goes on to say, so here's exhibit number 1. You had said it's a warranty deed. She goes, yes, sir. Saran Wrap got her in check for 5 minutes. Probably not even. A warranty deed for what? Randy asked. What's this a warranty deed for? And she says, well, you identified it already as the property, I believe, in Otter Creek. Who in their right mind would ever move to Otter Creek? Now, I understand you're thinking, Jeremy, but you moved to Otter Creek. Let me clarify how I got to Otter Creek. COVID happened. George and I, from the very first day we ever met, literally sitting down at a Buffalo Wild Wings across the table from each other in booth number 87, looked at each other and said, what are your long-term goals? And we both said basically at the same time, I want to move to Florida. I don't want to do Ohio winters anymore. Both had the same goal. And then COVID happens and we both go, why are we waiting? We can afford this. We can do this. George goes, all right, where should we start looking? She goes, how much property do you want? Like 5 acres? I'm like, oh, no, way more than that. I go 50 plus. She goes, okay, I'll start looking at properties. And what we ended up doing was looking in the state of Florida. I'll try to even show you, because we wanted to look in the state of Florida, but we wanted to be in the middle of all the major cities so we could get to the actual auctions. So if you look here, you'll see where it says work, but you'll see we're 2 hours from Tallahassee, we're 2 hours from Jacksonville, we're 2 hours from Orlando, we're 2 hours from Tampa, we're 2 hours from all the major cities, not Miami. And I wanted nothing to do with Miami. I want nothing to do with the party scene or people that are part of a party scene like that. No good comes from that, in my personal opinion. No story starts with, oh yeah, I was partying and there was strong drink and there was this and there was that. They all end the same way, with tragedy and hurt. And so that's how we ended up in Otter Creek. Now, the way that LIEnette ended up in Otter Creek is she was following us and then stalked us to Otter Creek. It's the only way she ever knew about Otter Creek. As a matter of fact, Randy even begins to ask questions about how she found this property. And she goes on, well, it was for tax sale. And he goes, all right, well, where'd you see it? I can't remember. Wait, hold a second. The very first question was, do you have anything that would prevent you from recalling any information today in this deposition? But let's keep going on, right? All right, so she goes, I'm looking at it. I'm trying to find the address. Yes, here's the address. LIEnette finds the address in her own warranty deed. Go figure, right? Randy says, so you can identify that that's your warranted deed for the Otter Creek property that you claim ownership in. She says, yes. Now, there's a whole lot more being said and interruptions, but it begins again. And he says, do you see how it's listed? What's your name there on this warranty deed? And it's LIEnette M.L.A. Preston. He goes, you said those are your initials, correct? She says, yes. Didn't you sign that document? She goes, I have no idea whether you sign a warranty deed or not. Now remember, she's already stated that she always signs her name MLA. She's stated that her name was LIEnette Michelle. Then she legally changed it to Lacey Alexis. Then she became a Christian, so then she changed it to LIEnette Michelle Lacey Alexis. Then she went by Ruby, which isn't even a legal change. She has 7 different husbands, 7 different divorces. She wanted number 8, but that ain't gonna happen. Didn't you sign that document? I have no idea if you sign a warranty deed or not. How could she not know if you sign a warranty? Of course you. All right. And Randy goes, just look down at it. Just look at the document. You'll be able to see if your signature is on there. She goes, I'm not going to scroll on your computer or laptop or something, whatever it was. She was going, I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to scroll on it. I'm not doing anything to your thing. Okay. And Randy goes, you have to sign the document, right? He goes, your license doesn't say initials? She goes, no. He goes, okay, so I'm wondering why on this deed, if your legal license says LIEnette, Michelle, Lacey, Alexis, Preston, probably a million other things as well, why doesn't this warranty deed have your legal name on it? She goes, because a lot of government agencies don't have enough room for me to write my whole name out there of Michelle, LIEnette, Lacey, Alexis. They just have me initial it. Oh, now she's blaming it on the government. Which I still find this. I never talk about politics. It's just not my thing. Okay, it's not my wheelhouse to talk about. Yes, I have a leaning. You can figure it out. I'm an entrepreneur. LIEnette and CROOK are obsessed, okay, with Donald Trump. And Deucey Boy is obsessed with Hales and Donald Trump. He thought he was going to get rich and become famous off of them. They would never, ever in the real world ever get along. Ever. And in the real world, they don't. They don't even, I guarantee you, the communication is minimal at best. If anything, it's a threat anymore. It's a threat from Deuce. It's a threat from LIEnette. LIEnette's threatening Deuce, going, if you don't do this, I'm going to tell them this. And Deuce is threatening LIEnette, if you don't do this, then you're going to get sued by me for this. As Deuce threatening another lawsuit. So government agencies tell her now to put in letters instead of her legal name. And he goes, but this is a deed. Do you see how this is where, and she interrupts, she goes, they wrote it! They wrote it! I didn't! Okay. He goes on to say, I can see where this is going to be particularly difficult today. You see in this deed where there are letters and not your legal name. She says, yes. Yes. So you're saying that it's your testimony that the reason why your initials are on this deed is because the government couldn't put your full name on the deed. She goes, whoever wrote that up, that's who decided to put MLA. Because that's how I sign my name. What government official is just going to put MLA? No one. They're going to ask you, I own enough property. The question is always the same. How do you want your name on the deed? Every single time. Okay. She goes on, I can't help how somebody else wrote it. Okay. So Randy goes on, so you didn't sign this document? She goes, not that I can see. There might be another page. I don't know. I don't know, sir. Let's ask somebody. Wait. Randy goes, there's no other page. None. This is your warranty deed. So again, Randy asks, you did not sign the warranty deed, did you? Correct? And LIEnette responds, not that I can see. Okay, Randy says, you're free to look at it. I literally have it right here in front of you. Everybody has this document. She goes, I'm looking, and not that I can see. Okay, so Randy has to clarify at this point. Does that mean you're saying that you signed the document and you still see it or not? What are you trying to tell me? So that you signed it, but you can't see it? or that you didn't sign it and you can't see your signature, because this isn't a definite answer. This is a federal lawsuit. This is federal court, and you can't get a straight answer out of this thing, this creature. Oh, hi, baby girl. I have a visitor. I have a visitor with her Grandpa Jeremy bike. And I'm going to have to take a pause because she doesn't need to hear about these things. Right, baby girl? Uh-oh. And Daddy said, going in reverse. Bye, baby pepper. And there she goes. Oh, my goodness. Oh, she's so cute. Okay. All right, we're going to keep going on. We're going to keep going. It was a good distraction. It was a good distraction. All right. She goes, no, I did not sign it. If it's not there, I didn't sign it. I'm not understanding because I have lots of warranty deeds. Okay. So Randy goes, all right, so let's go back again to what I was saying. Why does a name, which is not your legal name, show up on this deed? And LIEnette goes, why don't you ask the person who wrote it? Little Gollum, right? Randy says, did you tell someone that was your name? And she, why he's asking this, she interrupts again. By the way, all these questions and answers back and forth, there's interruptions. I just can't portray the interruptions like it was actually happening. And you're going to see Saran Wrap at the end of this line of questioning is going to say, we need another break. I have to call her. Can we please get another break? So, she goes, I don't know if I said I go by LIEnette Michelle. I gave them my driver's license. Now, didn't we already get testimony from LIEnette that her driver's license says LIEnette, Michelle, Lacey, Alexis, so on and so forth? That's weird. So she gave him the driver's license that has her full name written out. She signs with letters, and yet a warranty deed has letters, which isn't her legal name. You see, this is a massive, massive problem for her. Does she even legally own this property that the federal bankruptcy court is going to seize? And the federal bankruptcy court is going to sell all 1.66 acres. Okay, so Randy goes, well, your driver's license doesn't have those initials in it, right? But that's how they wrote it? She goes, I didn't write that paper. I did not write that. Okay, did you use a title company? Randy wants to know, did you use a title company? She goes, yes. What was the name of the title company? She goes, I had an attorney. Now keep this in mind. She literally says, I had an attorney. She's going to go on later to go, I don't have an attorney. This is the same as my mom died. My mom didn't die. And every other insane lie in this woman's life. Okay, so what was the name of the title company? She goes, I had an attorney, or the attorney. I had an attorney. Okay. If it was through an attorney, she goes, Bennett Law Firm, I believe. I'm not sure. Ooh. Randy says, thank you. He's finally getting an answer for something. Remember, 45 minutes just to try and get what her legal name is, which you and I would have answered in seconds. Okay. So he goes, thank you. So we don't want you guessing. You never want to be guessing in a deposition. We want actual answers. Remember, Randy states this at the beginning of every single deposition. We're all here for one thing, the truth. That's what we all want, the truth. Okay. So she goes, Bennett Law, I believe. So the lawyer, she says, the lawyer that was involved, the lawyer. I don't even know how she does it, how she screams. And then she goes, oh, I lose my voice. She loses her voice because she screams nonstop. The lawyer that was involved with a property name, Bennett Law Firm. Okay, so that's your lawyer? She goes, no! You realize, questioning just earlier, she said she had a lawyer. Now she says she didn't have a lawyer. My mom died. My mom didn't die. John's the only one that can watch the child. No, John is a sexual accoster. Oh. It goes back and forth, nonstop. It's insanity. There's only one person in my life that has been to this level of insanity. Her! I didn't even know people could get this bad. Okay, so no. Randy goes, thank you. You said it was your lawyer that worked on this title. She goes, no, I didn't. It's literally in the record. There's a court reporter. Everything I'm sharing with you, court reporter transcripts are all coming out. Okay, so did you have a word with this Bennett guy? Nope. They had a lawyer. It was their lawyer dealing with the property, I believe. It was Bennett Law Firm. Okay. Did you tell somebody at Bennett Law Firm who was not your lawyer that your name is LIEnette M.L.? Can't even get it all out, the question. She interrupts him. I gave him my driver's license! Are you not confused like I am? Because she already gave testimony under oath that her driver's license has no letters. It has her legal name on it. Okay. Whatever they wrote, they wrote. Randy goes, okay, thank you. So it's your testimony here today that when you got the title records, in this case, you gave them your driver's license, and whoever prepared the deed on their own, with no prompting from you whatsoever, they went ahead and shortened Michelle, your legal name, to an M, Lacey, your legal name, with an E because it's prettier, to an L, and Alexis, which is your legal name, to an A. Is that right? She goes, I don't recall! So you don't know, Randy says. Okay, that's better. If you don't know, that's the answer we need. You don't know. It's either a yes or no, or I don't know. Okay. Now, Randy he's just changing things up a little bit. He goes, I want to know, did you meet with anybody? Did you meet with anybody at all in preparation of this deposition? And she goes, what do you mean? I don't know what. He goes, let me make it easier for you. Other than your attorney, did you meet with anyone else to prepare for this deposition? Did anybody tell you what to say, how to say, what not to say? She goes, no. He goes, okay. So your current address, your residential address is Turd Purgatory in Otter Creek, Florida. And she says, yes. And he goes, what's your birth date? Date of birth. She says, she gives her birth date, born in 62. And he goes, that's August 5th, 1962. Yes! Okay. Did you receive any documents in preparation or in preparing for this deposition today? He goes, no. All right. So do you claim an ownership and an interest in this real estate property located in Otter Creek Avenue? She goes, yes! Now, understand, there's much more than the yes and the no's. There's screaming, there's interrupting, the whole thing. I can't stop it. It's what it is. What percentage ownership interest do you claim in this property in Otter Creek? Oh, boy, and now it gets really crazy. The truth is starting to come out. She says on record it was supposed to be 100% in her name. But they screwed it up and it didn't get logged in as that. Now, her answer is going to change further down the questioning, as you're going to see, which then Saran Wrap is going to frantically go, we need a break, because he knows she's busted for perjury. She goes, but it got logged in at 50% ownership, 50-50. That would be 50% LIEnette, 50% Crook. Oh. We find out later that Crook never paid a single penny on the property. And frankly, I can understand that, because at one point, Hales Headquarters was in mine and George's name. And while it was supposed to be 50-50, there was never a penny paid on the property, which then got moved into the trust, which is one of the reasons why. So I can understand when you're with somebody and you're putting things in each other's names because you're together and one person isn't paying towards it. And then maybe you have another plan and it goes in a trust. You know, it's a legacy. It's a legacy for my beautiful, beautiful peacocks. It's a legacy for my peacocks. Okay. So Randy then goes, okay, when you say log, what does that mean? I mean, if they logged it in 50-50 and you're telling me they screwed this thing up, what does log mean? He goes, let's look at it again. Can you show me where it says 50-50? And LIEnette goes, what did you even look at? I don't know where it says it, but if it says it on the record, then it happened at the recorder's office. Oh, okay. Now, I do want to address something because there's a lot of people right now taking information and screenshots from the recorder's office. The recorder's office, not the actual deed. The recorder's office. Remember, she's the one that said it was supposed to be 100%. And that the recorder's office screwed it up and put it 50-50. People are pulling information from the recorder's office and putting it all over the internet right now. You don't have the actual warranty deed. Because, as you're going to see here, Randy says, okay, well, you see this stamp in the upper left and right corners of this document? It's recorded. She goes, yes, and it was recorded as 50-50 ownership, and that's all I know, and that's what we told them. Oh, whoa. Do we got another lie here? Because LIEnette just said under oath that it was supposed to be 100% in her name, and they screwed it up at the recorder's office. And now she's telling Randy that they told them it was supposed to be 50-50. Here we go again. My mom died. My mom didn't die. Randy says, okay, let's look again. The top of this document. She goes, well, I see at the very top, I don't know where it says 50-50. If it's 50-50, we can call In other words, it doesn't say 50-50. The actual warranty deed at the top does not say 50-50. She can't even find it. He has a copy of the actual warranty deed. She can't find it. She goes, we can call the recorder's office. They said it was listed as 50-50. Randy goes, okay, let's try this one more time. The recorded instrument doesn't say any percentage of interest of ownership that you have. Is that correct? And she goes, the deed may not. But whether the document says it or not, the recorder's office said 50-50. You understand, Randy has a document right now, the actual deed, and there is no 50-50 whatsoever. It is 100% in LIEnette, MLA, who doesn't exist. This is not a legal person. This is not a legal name. So we have a legal document with a non-legal name with 100% ownership with LIEnette. But a recorder's office then put on documents later 50-50 because LIEnette says they screwed it up, but then she goes on to say, well, we told them 50-50. Oh, too late. It ain't there. Just because the recorder's office recorded it and you're pulling screenshots from the recorder's office does not mean it's on the actual real legal document. This is insanity, right? Oh yeah, we've been holding this card back for a little while. Yes, we've known for quite some time. Okay. Randy goes, the recorder's office is not a document. The recorder's office is not a legal document. When you look something up on the recorder's office website, that's not a legal document. I'm showing you the legal document right now. When you recorded the deed. She goes, yes. She starts interrupting him. They asked you, do you have a percentage of ownership in this property? She goes, we were asked that and we said we both own it 50-50. Hold a second. Again, remember, earlier answer, it was supposed to be 100% in her name, and they screwed it up at the recorder's office. And now she states that they told the recorder's office it's all supposed to be 50-50. Randy goes, don't you know this deed? It was presented to you. Is the recorder's office gets the information from you. She goes, I don't know. I don't know who did it And I know it says right there, Bennett Law Firm. They're the ones that put it in. So if they did it, they made the mistake of 50-50. Or, at this point, I don't even know what the mistake is. Is it supposed to be 50-50 or is it supposed to be 100% in LIEnette's name? I'm not even sure LIEnette knows at this point because she knows she doesn't want it 100% in her name because then she knows that the federal bankruptcy is going to seize all the property, 1.66 acres, which we are now at a third conversation with the federal bankruptcy trustee trying to get me to buy Turd Purgatory, which I do not want. I have the 70 acres across the street up for sale because I never want to be on that road again. So now she's blaming Bennett Law Firm. I'm sure Bennett Law Firm would love to know that their name's being thrown under the bus in a federal court hearing. She goes, "We're not married when we bought it." Randy goes, "Does it even say married?" She goes, "We're not married!" I thought Crook was her soulmate. Soulmate. You find your soulmate, do everything you can to hang on to him. It's very rare. Those two are not soulmates. And after 7 failures, you would think she would understand that she's not a mate for anybody's soul. She destroys people's souls. And people like that are pathetic. Randy goes on to say, "I'm showing you the document for you to look at." LIEnette goes, "Sir, you are badgering me." Whoa. Saran Wrap goes, okay, all right. He goes, can we take a short break? Can we take a short break right now? And Randy goes, "That's okay, Jerome. We can take a short break." And then he tells LIEnette, "You are not to communicate with anybody about your deposition." And he goes, "Saran Wrap, how long do you need?" He goes, five minutes? Do you want 5 minutes? He goes, "Not even. I just need 2. Randy goes, "All right, not a problem." Saran Wrap's going to try and reel her back in because what I witnessed was complete and total chaos, interruptions, and hostility, vileness, even though I can't present it the way that it actually happened, and lie after lie after lie. And we're still just within the first hour and a half of the deposition that was scheduled to start at 8:30, and it ended at 11 as LIEnette illegally left, which now means the federal judge can give us a default judgment against her for me because she didn't finish her deposition.